Hey everybody, welcome back to Scraplift Crafternoon. Today you'll see up in the right-hand corner, or you saw before this, the scrap list that we are doing, and I believe it's Amanda. And I decided to go a little more literal this time, and based on her picture, I wanted to go with more muted colors. So I have the 49 and Market Cottage Core collection and the 49 and Market Crafty Garden collection. And I'm combining those together today. I'm going to use this core paper, and it has, as you can tell, the same kind of design that she had on her paper. I've also pulled from the Cottage Core 2 frame to match some of the frames she's using. And then there's not any real matting paper in the Cottage Core collection. So I am looking at the Crafty Garden collection, and it has this green, this kind of muted gray, and this paper. We're going to use these as mats today. So let's get started. I'll put you on fast forward, and we will get going. Okay. So welcome back. Hopefully you are enjoying these Scraplift Crafternoons. So this particular layout, I did find a little bit challenging because it is very much a style that's not something that I do as much. So I kind of liked that. It was good to be challenged. So I went, like I said, a little bit more literal. So I found a paper that created kind of a frame, because I feel like she had a big frame of florals around her 2 photos. I'm using 2 different size photos. And in Cottage Core, they had this really cool frame, and I'm matching the fact that she framed one of her photos. So I feel like that's really a lot of what I took as the scrap list. Absolutely in love with this Cottage Core collection. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I did spend quite a bit of time before starting these videos finding papers that I thought would match, and then to discover as I really looked at her layout, she didn't mat any of the photos. Instead, she used the frame, so I didn't actually need to worry about finding papers that match. So I'm just putting those 2 papers right back in my kit, and we'll go from there. So this is the base of the layout. So I have the core paper and 2 photos, and now I'm trying to decide what I want to do. So I'm going to take the branding strip that has a really cool quote on it, and you can see that there. Oh, I guess you can't see it because I'm doing that, but let me read it to you. It says, "The things we remember best are the things we have loved." So this is a picture of us going to somebody's engagement party. So I thought that fit. So I made a little banner at the bottom. Now I know she has a big title down there, but I'm going to kind of work with that. And then I dumped out all the embellishments from Cottage Core, and I'm going to go through them. Now, I don't need a title so much, I don't think, but I am going to pull out some word strips, some of the different pieces and parts to see what I have. Now, the Cottage Core collection, although this is not what I have used it for, is a lot of cooking. So some of these pieces that have come with it are cooking. So they're spice cabinets, they're like tables, and those kinds of things. And I don't need that for these layouts. So a lot of that stuff does not apply. But in the end, I find enough that does apply. And I realize now that I did have rub-ons that I didn't use. So I could have gone and used the rub-ons. But I'm looking at these laser cuts. I'm trying to get some floral elements because I feel like that kind of matches her vibe. I did like this pergola. I think that's what that's called. And I wanted that on there. I don't know why. I just felt like that matched the fact that she had those florals on the upper left. Then I'm putting a floral down there, just a few little bits and pieces. And I am loving how this is turning out. It's also more simple, but it's kind of fun. And it's staying in the greens and the golds, keeping it muted. This is a tab that I'm going to put on here, and I'm going to put the date. And then I'm going to have these really cool hanging plants. I am loving the Cottage Core collection for that kind of stuff. Now, it has this lamp. One of the things about 49 Market, and I think we've talked about it before, is they are very delicate. Some of their embellishments are super, super delicate, and I ripped that lamp that is supposed to be a hanging lamp. So I'm just sticking it there on the side now. I feel like nobody knows that it was supposed to be a hanging lamp except for all of us on this call right now, on this video right now. The other thing I did is I had some old wood veneer hearts, and I took the sage, bundled sage, distress oxide, and I colored all of them that sage to matte. I'm using the Moments to Treasure to put on top of the tag down there, kind of creating a little, where she has First Christmas, I've kind of created a little section down there to mimic the First Christmas. I've got the 2-word strips and the plants. So I've got something big and anchoring it in the bottom left, even though it's not a tile. And then I am putting the names of our friends whose engagement party it was. And I do not have an and in this collection. So I'm going to my handy dandy. I have a set of joining words. So and, the, I don't remember what else it is. I think you'll see in a second here. But that's what I have. So it has just the joining words. That's all it is. And I use that a lot in these situations because you don't have ands or thes or spaces or stars. And so I just go and find it, and there it is. So it has and, for, with, the, by, to. It's a great collection. Think it's close to my heart, and they've gone out of business. But if you can find something similar, 100% is one of my most used random stamp sets. So I put the and there between their names. And then I'm looking at it and trying to decide if there's anything else I want. And I decide she had 3 stars on her page. She had, well, maybe more than 3, but she had 3 gold stars that I saw easily. And I decided I would have more hearts. So I took 2 more hearts and I put them on the page. She also then has a lot of distress in the background. And I don't know if you look at it, you can see in her page there's a lot of gold distress. So I get my favorite kind of dark gold distress. And I'm going to splatter just kind of in a diagonal. Oop, I've got one more word. I'm putting it up there, enjoy it all. And that's mimicking her Merry Christmas in the upper right. Then I'm going to splatter this dark gold around the top and the bottom, the top left, bottom right, kind of give you a little bit of splatter look. And that is my scrap lift. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. I am so enjoying these Sundays with you. So I will see you next Sunday when we scrap lift someone else. Have a great day. Thanks.